Recently, I've been going back and forth on if I should do a review on Fallout 76 or not. And I decided that it was finally time for me to give my review on Fallout 76 after clocking easily over 100 hours in the game, mostly playing alone or solo. I figured it was finally due time. Now, I will be covering the issues I personally have with this game and also cover things that I really enjoy about this game as well. And I will even be talking about how Bethesda is taking the right steps in the right direction to recover from the Fallout 76 launch. So I think the best place to first start is with the bugs and exploits that are either currently or previously were in the game. Now, if you do have a quick look at my channel, you will notice I have uploaded a lot of exploit and bug videos from this game. Everything from being from exploit guides to duping methods and stuff like that, with the main reason behind it being to help get the traffic and attention needed to get it patched sooner than it probably normally would have been. And it actually has been working extremely well because Bethesda has recently been really on top of it. Now, some people don't agree with this method to get something fixed in a game, but from my own experience, making it more commonly known will get it pushed up on the devs to fix list, and a whole make the game better for the entire community. Now, I actually have been one of the very lucky ones, it seems, when it comes to bugs and exploits, because I never once encountered a bug that was completely game-breaking, not yet anyway. Such as enemies taking no damage from weapons, or regenerating health from weapons, which supposedly is fixed now, or not being able to interact with the terminal that is supposed to give you the next part of your current quest. But since the launch of Fallout 76, I personally believe Bethesda has been doing an amazing job keeping up with the bugs and the exploits and getting them patched normally within a few days of it going public on YouTube. But I will say right now as it stands, Fallout 76 is a lot better bug-wise than it was when it first launched. Personally, in my opinion, I feel like Bethesda has patched quite a few of the bugs, at least the major ones that were causing game-breaking issues or server lag and stuff like that. Now, by no means, that does not mean that this game is bug-free or exploit-free, because obviously it is not. I don't know any game that is. But it does mean that they are taking the right steps in the right direction, in my opinion, to make the game better as time goes on. And I really think this game is going to be something really to play again that I think a lot of people will come back to down the road. Now, another hot topic that has come about with this game is not having human NPCs in the game. And I can understand the frustration behind that. When I first was playing this game, realized it wasn't human NPCs. I was bummed out, but I decided I was going to kind of look past it for a little while and see if I could just still get into the game without having that human NPC interaction that I was kind of hoping for. And I think sharing my experiences with having no human NPCs might help some of you that are considering picking up this game or not. So if you somehow did not know already, there are no human NPCs in this game at all that are interactive whatsoever. There's some dead bodies here and there, but that doesn't really help our situation here. Which for some makes the world extremely empty. But honestly, there are actually a lot of awesome places to explore and adventure. All your quests come from either robots, holotapes, or even terminals, which is something I honestly did not enjoy at the start. I had no desire to do a majority of the quest line at the beginning of my adventure because there was no pride in me completing any quest. It was just open terminal, skip the dialogue, and then proceed to point B. To again pick up a holotape and listen to a dead person tell me, "Good job, you did it." But then I started doing the Brotherhood of Steel quests. And I realized I needed to slow down a bit and enjoy the story that was actually being told around me. By doing so, I felt a huge sense of pride and joy by the time things were all said and done. And then I decided I needed to go back and give the main quest line another shot. And by doing so, I got to discover my favorite little robot, Rose, at the top of the world. And when I started doing quests for her, I all of a sudden felt that feeling of accomplishment I normally feel when playing a game after completing a quest. Because I was imagining the things that I was reading or hearing throughout the quest and bringing the stories to life the way I wanted to bring them to life. Once I realized that I was actually taking these holotapes and the terminals and the robots and these quest lines and bringing the stories to life in my head, I realized that I actually enjoyed this type of questing more because it allowed me the freedom to visualize the quests and the stories and the characters the way I wanted to and not have the game dictate and tell me how they look or how they sound and stuff like that. And honestly, I prefer this more now. But I do understand that this quest line is not for everyone, and I totally get that. But again, this is just opinion-based. I'm just sharing my experiences with you guys that are either considering getting the game, or maybe picked it up and just stopped playing it after all the negative reviews came out for the game or something like that. Because who knows, you might change your opinion too and give it one more shot. Now, there are 3 things with this game that I have some issues with. 2 of them will probably get fixed in the future. I know they will. One of them probably never will. But it's just how it is. But let's get into this now. So here's the 3 things that I have issues with in this game right now. The PvP system in this game is just atrocious. But we'll get to that in a second. But it deals with the anti-grease system that doesn't do anything to help people not getting griefed. As of now, there is really no endgame content, but I am sure that will change as time goes on and DLCs get added and stuff like that. It's just in the current state of the game, there's really not much endgame content, so unfortunately it's not making me want to log in every day to keep playing. But the third thing is the Atomic Shop, which this is a very highly debatable subject with this game, but we'll get into that one, and we'll save that one for last here. So let's talk about the PvP system, because this is something that just bothers me so much in this game. And I don't know whose idea it was to have this anti-grief system the way it is, but it is absolutely awful. Right now, as it stands in this game, there technically is not PvP. Okay? Yes, you can kill players, but that's if they want to fight you. Okay? So if I walk up to a player, say his name's Jim, and I start shooting Jim in the head, I'll get some caps for shooting him. But if he doesn't shoot back at me or initiate a fight back, I'm not killing him. It's not happening. I remember the beta, I was playing with a squad, and we came across this guy that was just kind of trolling us. He was just spamming in his microphone. This was before we figured out how to turn off the in-game chat, or in-game voice chat and stuff like that. But he was just following us around and be kind of annoying, and he got under our skin. And this was the biggest issue I had with the game since then, is 4 of us were shooting this guy in the head, and he was just out healing the damage we were doing. Not that we were doing much damage. I mean, it was better than what it would have been with one person. But the fact is, 4 people shooting someone in the head continuously, that person should die. I don't care what the anti-grief system is. That's ridiculous. And the fact that they can out-heal with food or stim packs and just sit there and keep doing what they're doing defeats the entire purpose of an anti-grief system. I do like the idea of the anti-grief system. I just think how it's set right now is just not a good way of doing it. I honestly don't know what would be the best direction to take it to make it so PvE and PvP players can still coexist on one server and still have fun, stuff like that. I do have an idea to share with you guys in a future video, though, when it comes to PvP stuff. My buddy Azex, he was telling me about this idea he had for the game that actually might help with the PvP stuff and kind of get rid of this anti-grief system in a whole, but we'll save that for a different day. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section with the PvP system in this game, because that's probably the thing I'm most curious about, what other people have experienced themselves. I know some people are having fun with it, but just me personally, I just think that the anti-grief system is just one of the worst things in this game. And honestly, if there was no anti-grief system and I could just log into a server and PvP people and have fun, I would probably be playing more than I am currently. And for those of you that are going to be sitting there and saying, oh, well, the anti-grief system's a great thing because it helps the low-level 5 players not get killed by the level 100s. Yeah, it does to an extent, but when you get wanted in this game, you get absolutely no reward for being wanted. There's really no reason to be wanted. If you get wanted, the only thing that's going to happen is you're going to lose caps out of your own inventory. That's it. But now that I've done that little rambling rant about the PvP system, I actually just read online right now that Bethesda is planning on reworking the PvP system, which is good. So we will see what they end up doing in the future with that. But as of now, as of this review, that's currently how I see the PvP system in this game. It is kind of how it is. It just really does not exist. So now we have the endgame content. And I know this is bothering a lot of other players that are still playing the game as well. For those of you that are like level, 50 plus, really. Because once you're 50, technically you're max level, because that's the max level gear that's in the game currently. I'm kind of expecting as DLCs get dropped that they will end up releasing higher level gear. Because you can basically just go like level 1000 or something like that. But as it is right now, I'm level 100 or level 101. And there's really nothing for me to do. I mean, I still explore when I log in every now and then, which is always fun because I always end up coming across something I didn't know was even there to begin with. And I somehow find a new area I somehow haven't been to yet, which is awesome. But the Scorch Beast Queen, I like the idea, but it's not challenging. It's not really an endgame boss, at least not in my eyes. Because what happens is you drop a nuke, which you can drop a nuke in under 15 minutes in this game, so that's not hard to do. You can solo the silos too, which I didn't think was supposed to be a thing, but it's been a thing since beta. And once you drop a nuke, you can summon a Scorch Beast Queen, which is fun. She is fun to fight, and it's fun to see the entire server come together to fight her. But here's the issue: so you can have 10 level 50 plus players there, because again 50 is the max level. It doesn't really matter if you're past 50, you should have legendary weapons and stuff like that by now, so you can actually fight her and actually do something, because she scales off the amount of players that are in her her area. But then when I see the level 26 standing there with his pipe pistol, just shooting the thing, doing nothing, it doesn't help. All that player's doing is just making the making her scale up higher. And it doesn't necessarily make her harder to kill. It is longer to kill. It's just more time consuming because she literally just has more health. And you don't really die. And the server lag when you're fighting one of these Scorch Beast Queen is just unbearable. I unfortunately don't have footage of it anymore, but last time I was actually farming the Scorch Beast Queen with a few buddies of mine a few weeks ago. And we were just server hopping, killing her. But what was happening was almost every server, the server just couldn't handle the fight. Like, we would kill it, and we couldn't access our inventory for, I'm not kidding you, like 5 to 10 minutes. Now, does that make it game breaking when you shouldn't buy the game? No, of course not, because I'm sure, again, that's something that will be looked at in the future as time goes on and probably be tweaked and fixed and stuff like that. But as of now, that's how the game sits, and besides the Scorch Beast Queen, there's nothing else to do. You can drop a nuke on White Springs, and you can farm ghouls at White Springs for XP, but there's really no point to. So besides the Scorch Beast Queen, farming White Springs, and just exploring the area that you haven't been to yet, there's really nothing else to do late game besides just doing some side quest lines and stuff like that. But they don't really give you the rewards that you would be wanting for the level that you are at endgame anyway. But I'm sure as time goes on, they start dropping more DLCs and more content and stuff like that. I'm sure there'll be a lot more in-game content that will be pulling me back to the game over and over again, such as the other 3 vaults that are going to be DLC vaults that apparently people are claiming to be raid vaults. So that'll be interesting to see if that actually is going to become a thing or not. Now, the biggest issue I have with this game is something that luckily does not affect the gameplay yet, and that is the Atomic Shop. Now, as it stands right now, the Atomic Shop is purely cosmetic, even though there is a picture of some leaked files from a previous update to the game that show that they might be bringing mutations that you can buy and like other special abilities and like effects you can buy in the Atomic Shop. I really hope they don't do that because that's really, really going to make me mad. I think along with a lot of other people too. But my issue with the Atomic Shop is not necessarily what's in the shop. It's just the pricing of things. Like, the prices are just way too high. And I honestly feel like, in my personal opinion, that the community would be more likely to buy more of these skins in the Atomic Shop, like actually paying and not just earning the atomic points in game and buying stuff that way. I'm talking actually spending their own money to buy atomic points, to buy things if it was cheaper. When this game was released, it was $60. I believe you can get it for around $40, $45 right now. And you're telling me that you're going to try to sell me a power armor skin for $18? That is just way too high. That's almost a third of the normal cost of the game when it first launched. I personally, and I'm sure I can speak for some others here too, would be way more inclined to buy skins if they were a lot cheaper. A majority of the skins in the shop right now are $8 plus, and that's just for what you get for it. I personally just don't think it's worth doing. You know, if those power armor skins were $5 or $6 a piece, I honestly would probably own them all by now. But I haven't bought a single one because I'm not about to spend $40, $60 on 3 skins for my power armor suit. Now, yes, this does not affect gameplay. It's just something that personally bothers me a lot because I would love to have some of these cosmetics in the game. And I know people are going to be like, well, it's just how it is. You have to deal with it. And that's fine. You know, if Bethesda decides to keep it this way, that's fine. But this Atomic Shop is supposed to be paying for us to have free DLCs. And my fear is that there's probably not a lot of people buying from the Atomic Shop, like actually spending their own money, not the points earning in game, and buying stuff in the shop because everything's just way too expensive. But let me know what you guys think about the Atomic Shop and all that stuff down below in the comment section. I would really, really love to know. Now, for those of you still watching, I really appreciate it, guys. It really means a lot to me. I want to share with you guys some of my best moments I've had in this game so far. Because this game's not perfect. There's obviously bugs and stuff like that, which I covered most of the issues and stuff I've experienced so far with the big topics. But there's been some things in this game that have truly just blown my mind in a good way and have really made me enjoy the game a lot. So one of my favorite things to do is logging in and just exploring areas not actually showing anything on the map. Because normally I can find some really cool things that don't appear on your map unless you find it first. Like the crashed satellite station or space station. When I first came across that thing, I was so blown away because I was never expecting to see something so big and detailed on the map and not actually have its own icon on the map. It totally took me away. And this is what actually pushed me to walk the entire edge of the map, which took over 4 hours. And I discovered so many cool things, from a teddy bear murder scene, which was probably one of the funniest things I've seen so far in the game, to actually catapulting skeletons off a mountainside. Even with over 100 hours in the game, I'm still finding new areas I have somehow not been to yet, and with having the location of this game being West Virginia, it allows us to take in a beautiful landscape that at times can look just absolutely amazing. You can even hunt for creatures such as the Mothman or Flatwoods Monster that are actually creatures believed to be from the certain areas throughout West Virginia. And my first time trying to launch a nuke will be something I will never forget. Even though Fallout 76 has had a rocky launch and Bethesda making a few bad judgment calls such as the nylon bag situation, I think they recently have been taking things in the right direction to make this game better overall. With the frequent patches to fix things and now giving anyone who has played the full game in 2018 the Fallout Classic Collection for free, which I assume because of the rocky launch, I have faith that Bethesda can continue to make changes to the game to keep pushing towards what players expected at launch. Please let me know what you think down below in the comment section, and I will see all you guys in the next video.